Hi, I'm Joe Farace. Welcome to the latest Film Friday vlog. Today we're going to take a look at buying film cameras on eBay through sellers and camera stores. In the last video we talked about buying film cameras from Japan through eBay, and many of the things that I suggested are just as valid for buying cameras from sellers in the United States, but there are some differences, and I want to talk about those today. First of all, there's some preference. These are my preferences. You may have some different ones, but this is what's based on my experience. In general, I have found in comparing buying film cameras in Japan versus film cameras in the US that most of the sellers do not have as good photographs as the Japanese sellers. The second thing is, in general, the prices are better for cameras of equal quality. You'll pay much more for a truly mint camera in the US than you will from a Japanese seller. And those are the big two differences, but that can vary. And one of the differences is buying from camera stores, which is always one of my preferences, because they tend to have better photographs so that you can really evaluate how the camera looks online than typical individual sellers. And the same thing goes with their evaluation and their rating of the camera quality, whether it's mint, near mint, excellent, good. Usually, and people like Use Camera Photo, which is a division of Roberts Camera that I've bought recently from, they will tell you with a good camera it's from 79 to 89% of original condition, and sometimes that number will be down on the 79, maybe 78 or 77%, and sometimes it'll be at 89. It all depends. Look at the photographs. The thing about dealing with camera stores is they typically give you a guarantee. In Roberts Camera's case, it's 14-day, no hassle returns. Let me tell you a story. This camera sitting here, I bought both the camera and the motor drive from Roberts. It's a good quality Canon AE1 program. And that good quality body is pushing that 79% hard. It's 75% maybe. The big difference is when I put the batteries, and there's 12 of them in that motor drive, I got 3 shots and the motor drive died. That was a Friday when I did that. So the next morning I called Roberts and said, hey, the motor drive, it only lasted 3 shots before it died with brand new batteries. And they said, well, let me send you a return shipping label. Within 5-6 minutes, they emailed me a prepaid return shipping label. I boxed it up, I shipped it back to them that same day. On Monday morning, that following Monday from Saturday, there was a different motor drive in my mailbox from Roberts. They didn't wait till they got it back and said, well, maybe this guy's full of crap and doesn't know what he's talking about. No, they trusted me and sent a new one. And so that's one of the reasons I like buying cameras and big accessories like motor drives and stuff from a camera store rather than an individual. I find that the individuals, remember we were talking about in the last video, if you watched it, we talked about how every camera being sold in Japan is labeled as mint. Well, what I find with individual sellers in the US, that many times the seller will describe the camera as vintage. Well, yeah, it's old. This camera is, 38 years old. I'm not sure that's vintage. I would think of a Speed Graphic maybe as vintage, but a Canon AE1, really, I don't think it's vintage. But to me, the use of the word vintage is a giveaway. It's a giveaway of what their intentions are to not buy that camera. I would skip that one. So anyway, lenses are another exception. I found that sellers tend to be, individual sellers as compared to camera stores, have much better deals on lenses. they tend to, whatever reason, I have found that the quality of the lenses that I bought from individuals on eBay have been a higher quality and at much better prices than buying from camera stores. So all the lenses, including the lenses I used with this camera, the Canon lenses I've been buying lately, I've bought from individuals, and all of them have looked really nice and work great. So, but I have a tip for you in order so that you can maybe buy at the best possible price. So here's what I do. First of all, I set my preferences on eBay so that the items ending soonest show up first. You want it in that priority. And then you look for items with either no bidders or one bidder. And then you make the lowest lowball offer you can buy. And typically what I'll do is I'll look for one with no bidders and I'll put his minimum bid in. If it's $16, I'll put in $16.05. And many times I've made that purchase at the lowest price. And I've gotten, I think I paid $29 for a 135-2.8 FD Canon lens. It was in beautiful condition. It was just great. And similarly, I bought that macro lens, which I'll be talking about in some upcoming blog posts, that not only did the seller include a lens hood, a lens cap, a rear cap, something that caps often get lost, and especially in camera stores. For some reason, lenses from camera stores tend to come minus the caps. And if they do include the caps, they charge more for them. So anyway, this particular macro was a 50mm 3.5 FD macro lens, a second generation lens if you are up on FD lenses or you care about FD lenses. Anyway, it came with both caps, a lens hood, and a 25mm macro adapter that lets that lens, extension tube that lets that lens focus down to 1:1. Because without the extension tube, the real Canon extension tube, it only goes to 1:2 or 2:1, whatever it is. It still gets really close, as I found out when I was doing some test shooting. Look for a text blog on a little photo walk with the A1 camera and the 50mm macro lens. Terrific lens, great camera. We like the camera. And it included the 1984 Summer Olympics lens cap that many lenses that were made by Canon around the Olympics came in the special Olympic packaging on the lens, and they came with this lens cap. Now, those lens caps are worth $20. I paid $75 for the lens cap, the rear cap, and the extension tube. And that made the lens itself like $35 or so dollars, which is a heck of a deal. So those are just a few tips that'll help you get the best possible prices. But the big thing to remember is the same kind of things I talked before. Look at the pictures very carefully. Ask one of your friends or ask your wife. I always ask Mary. Take a look at the picture. She has great detail-oriented eyes, and she can find flaws in cameras and also in cars when we're at a car show. And she can find the tiniest little things that maybe make you decide you don't want to buy it. And then read the text. There's also another flag. When I talked about the word vintage, there's another text I'll see. They'll put read in the headline. This is a flag that says there's something really wrong with this camera. I'm hoping you don't actually read the text and just buy it, and then when you complain, I'll say, well, geez, didn't you read it? So just don't even bother reading it. Just skip over. They made millions of these film cameras. I think there was a number like 3 million Canon AE1s. I mean, if you can find a nice one. The A1, which I just bought, absolutely flawless. $100.99 from Japan. It's a beautiful camera. And get this, that included a winder for $100. So in an upcoming blog, I'll be talking about the cost of film photography and how I've gotten some less than positive email from people who think film photography is too expensive. I don't think so, and I'm going to keep shooting film as long as I can. And so I hope that this helps you with your own shopping and you can get some good bargains. And I'll look for you in the next one. So thanks for watching.